Hello, and welcome back to the Crisis of Readers. We're your hosts, Ollie.
And Mac.
Today we're going to be talking about our summer reads. It's middle school again, and we have summer homework.
Let's go.
Yes, we're going to use this as kind of a way so that we can tell you what books we're going to be talking about coming up in the summer, so people can read them with us if they would like to read them before the podcast episodes come out. Or if they're just like, I hate that book series and I know not to be expecting any content from this week because I don't want to hear them talk about it.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
we're here for transparency for you.
Yes. And then after we go over the books we'll read in the podcast, be covering in the podcast, we'll talk about what we're personally looking forward to reading this year.
Yeah.
Or this summer. Not this year.
I'm going to be honest, some of these might end up being this year, not just this summer. But we can cross our fingers.
Yes. I will not be held liable to finish all of the books on my list. The only thing I can be held liable to finish are anything we're recording for the podcast.
So true.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
So let's jump into it with our first episode that will come out after this one, which will be the Murderbot series.
Yeah.
But only books 1 through 4.
Yes. Is what we're talking about.
Which, yes, exciting. The TV show's out now, right?
Yeah, the TV show is out. It's probably like almost through the first season, I would guess, based on where the plot is in comparison to what I remember of the first book. It's very fun. I was excited about the TV show, but also like a little bit hesitant, and it's been so fun to get to watch it. And I just love Murderbot. It's like one of my favorite series. It's so fun.
Yeah, I'm reading them right now. I've already read All Systems Red, which is the first one. I've read that one before. But it's been a while, and then I was like, well, I'm going to reread it if I'm going to go start reading the rest of the novellas. So I'm almost done my reread of the first book, and then I have to read the next 3. We're only going to do up until the full-length novel because my library hold on the full-length novel is weeks away. And by weeks, I do mean 3 months.
Yeah.
So we can't do that right away.
Yeah. I think I also waited probably like months to get the first one out of the library the first time I read it. You know, you have to stack your Libby holds so something is available.
Okay, this is an aside. I keep stacking my Libby holds, and then they all keep coming at once. In the last 3 days, I've gotten the 3rd book in the Murderbot series. I've gotten The Will of Many. I've gotten Blood Marked. And then I got, I forget what's called, the other book that I got. But they all came in all at once. And I have been waiting months for all of these books.
That was
I'm like, why?
That happened to me when I was trying to read the true honest reason. I stopped halfway through the first time I tried to read the Shatter Me series, and I stopped after like, I don't know, the second or third book, was because I was then I put them like the whole series on the hold in the library because it takes you like a singular night to read them because they're quick and dirty. The problem is all of the covers look so similar because they're all just a fucking eye. And then all of the names are just blank me. So getting them straight in your head is like so confusing. And then they were all coming into they were coming off of hold like at the same time, but that was never the one I like needed to read. And so trying to get it so that I would get them in order was like proving an impossible task. So I like gave up the first time I tried to read them and just waited a while because I think I started reading them when the book talk girlies remembered that Shatter Me existed, so they were super, super popular. And then I finished reading the series recently, and everyone's kind of calmed down about Shatter Me.
Yeah, that one's funny because I feel like you were like, oh, I'm reading Shatter Me, and I had been seeing it all over TikTok. And I'm pretty good at like avoiding TikTok pressure to read something romance heavy or like even fantasy romance, like I can circumvent them. Every so often though, like if you say you're reading it, then I'm like, well, now I have to read it because I don't want to have FOMO with my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So then I got it from the library and I read the first one, and instead of just putting them all on hold in the library, I instead bought the box set. So now I just own all of them.
And honestly,
which I'm not opposed to it.
they're
good.
good. They're so fun. I really enjoyed it.
They're like a crack book.
Yes.
Which, and by with that I mean, it's not the best writing I've ever read. The plot has
major issues.
So many holes, you could call it Swiss cheese. Yep. But it was fun. I enjoyed every second, and I fell in love with the characters.
Yes. It was like so book that I, in any other circumstances, would have eaten up in high school, and the part of me that is still that person, obsessed, and I got it, and I was like, this was great.
Yeah, it was fun, but yeah. So Murder Box, that's our first go.
Yeah.
Back to the
actual list.
So Murder Box. Yes. We're gonna record that later this week, so you won't know that we recorded it later this week because you'll get it exactly 1 week after.
Exactly. So for you, it'll be a week from now. For us, it was 3 days.
3 days. And then after we do Murder Bots, we're gonna talk about the Folk of Air series by Holly Black, which is The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King, and The Queen of Nothing. Yeah, I pulled those out of my brain vault because I haven't picked up those books in a hot minute.
Oh, I am currently rereading them because I have probably talked. I think actually I know for a fact that I've talked about how much I love them because I'm editing the Trobeck episode video right now, and I just heard myself rant about it. But my husband and I are reading them right now, as in when I'm cooking or driving, my husband will read them to me because we did read a good amount of ACOTAR, and he had a lot of criticism about the politics in that book. So fair. And the quality of the writing, also so fair. And I was like, you know what we should read instead? We should read Cruel Prince. And it has been great. 10 out of 10.
I do love the vibe of like reading ACOTAR and criticizing it for its politics.
That well, you've met him. Does that surprise you?
No, it's correct. That is exactly what I would expect. But it is kind of funny because I've never heard the criticism of I couldn't finish ACOTAR because the political system was shit.
Well, and they were all fair criticisms. I was like,
I believe it. I've never read it, but I believe it.
Yeah. There is nothing that will make you dislike a book more than really slowly reading it apart, reading it with someone who is then also an extremely harsh critic of every plot issue. And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's like there's like I saw a meme once and it was like me reading the reviews on my 5-star book and then being mad that they kind of make sense, and now I'm second guessing myself.
Yes, exactly.
But we've discussed this. 5 stars does not necessarily mean it's the best book. It means it was great for you. It's exactly what you wanted and needed.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I read The Cruel Prince my second year in grad school.
Oh, was that that was your first time reading it?
First? Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Okay, this is embarrassing. It's not that embarrassing. I was at the bookstore with someone who I thought was fun at the time, and I was like, I would love to be their friend. And so we were talking about books, and she was like, this is one of my favorite books. And I said, well, now I have to read it so that I have something to talk to you about. And then I read it, and I did enjoy it. I got all the other books, and I did read the whole series, and it was a good series. Yeah. So she did not steer me wrong, but I will say it fully was, I'm reading this so that we have something to talk about because I've deemed you someone I need to be friends with.
And you know what? That's a good way of making friends. So 10 out of 10. Friend making.
We are friends. It was successful.
Yeah, fair enough.
Successful.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I think this one is a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for this one. I typically don't love fairies, but this one did get me. I did like the fairies in this one.
I would agree. It's very like traditional like trickster fairy, which I quite enjoy as a like, theme or trope. So very pumped.
I just got my friend to read it.
Ooh.
And I was so excited when she said she was gonna actually pick it up, and I'm like, this is the best day, because I don't know, I was trying to explain to her, like, she doesn't really like fantasy. Me and my friends keep trying to have this book club, but we all love very different books. So like right now we're reading the Buffalo Hunter, which was like one of my other friends' picks, and it's very much like that friend pick for her. Like, I wouldn't expect nothing less from her.
Right.
I don't think it's a book I would have ever picked up on my own, but I am enjoying it. And then our third friend, who definitely reads completely different, is like, I am having the worst time getting through this book.
I don't want to be here.
And it's just so our group, because our group is like, this is an aside, but when we were in undergrad, which is where I met all these people, we all had very different dietary restrictions. I was allergic to tomatoes and tomato sauce. One person didn't like tomato sauce, but was obsessed with having an all-meat pizza. Another person loved veggies, but specifically couldn't have onions. And then the last person was a vegan.
Not being able to...
Imagine us trying to order a pizza.
Yeah, that's kind of...
to our dorm.
That's actually awful. And I thought See, at least I will say my undergrad friend group, most of our dietary restrictions did at least overlap. We had like 2 people who were gluten-free. All of us were lactose intolerant. One guy had IBS, but IBS kind of overlaps with everything. we had one peanut allergy. She was the one that we accidentally almost killed. And by we, I do specifically mean me. But she's fine.
Having a peanut allergy is so childish. I'm just kidding. I'm allowed to say that. I have a peanut allergy. Yeah. All right. So after that, what are we doing?
We're doing Legendborn. Well, we're doing this 2.
Yes.
Legendborn 2 and 3. Bloodmarked and Oathbound.
And 1.
And Mun.
1 will come out at the same time as well.
We've just already read it.
Yes, we've already recorded 1. So if that one's weird, that's why. It's because we recorded it far longer ago than we recorded the other 2.
Exactly. So, don't complain. That's what we have.
I could give you nothing, and instead I give you this.
Exactly.
Me saying this to the no people who subscribe.
To the no people listening.
I think we have 1 subscriber. Hello, 1 subscriber.
We love you. Thank you.
We love you, and please don't complain about the random cuts when we have just old ass episodes and then randomly have a new one, okay? Please.
Yeah, exactly.
We're trying our best.
We are.
Yeah. So we did read the first Legendborn book. I own the second one, and I just got the third one on Kindle loans.
Ooh.
On Libby. So
nice.
I'm all stacked and ready to go for that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I also own the first 2. I have not obtained the third one yet, but I will in some fashion. I will get it and I'll get there.
I feel like we're always so like far behind when releases come out, because books love to only release in hardcover.
Yes.
And we're both like staunchly not hardcover people.
Very much so.
And at least for me, I don't know if this is true for you, but for me, I'm also a staunchly like, if I have it in one format, I have to have it like that the whole way through. So like there's Iron Widow. I got that in hardcover. And I don't love hardcover books, but now every time that a book releases in that series, which like Heavenly Tyrant did come out, I have to have it in hardcover now.
Honestly, that's fair. I am not like that. I am very pragmatic about I will get my hands on this book any which way possible. Um, it does mean my bookshelf's a little crazy looking, but it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, I still haven't gotten the new Hunger Game book because hasn't come out in paperback yet.
Yeah, I have also not. I'm really dodging and weaving spoilers to that book. Really trying not to interact with any Hunger Games content.
I deleted all my social media, so
so it's not an issue.
I am not facing that problem. I deleted it before the book came out.
Yeah, that would help.
All you have to do is just crash out a little bit, delete all your social media, bang, bang, boom, no spoilers.
No spoilers. Yeah.
I skipped a book.
No, yeah, that was my fault, I think.
Before Legendborn cycle, which will be a 3-part episode thing we do, we will be reviewing So Let Them Burn by Camilla Cole.
Yeah.
And I know what you're all thinking. Ollie, you said you hate dragons, and I do. But I did read this book already, and I have to say, the dragons didn't ruin it for me.
So, it's all good.
I still don't like dragons. Every time I was reading about the dragons, I was wishing I wasn't. But the rest of the plot was so good, it didn't ruin the book for me.
It was actually fine then.
Yeah, so that's my sneak peek review of So Let Them Burn.
Nice.
But yeah, so we'll be reading that, and I think that will cover most of the summer because the Legendborn cycle will be a 3-week thing because we talk about those books really a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We talk about those for a long time.
You'll get lots of Legendborn episodes, so I hope you're excited.
Yes. I'm not even gonna lie, that book series makes me feral.
It's so good.
It's just so good.
Yeah. I was so excited. I don't remember if I told you about this. I might have. I went to my sister-in-law's graduation like last month, and I was like seeing her off-campus apartment, and then I see on her coffee table Legendborn, and I was like, just shock ass. I was like, have you read this? Apparently, she got assigned to read it during class, and I was like, that is so cool.
That is so
Isn't that
cool.
amazing? I don't.
It's such a good book.
It's so good. Yeah. And then she read Bloodmarked and texted me about it. Was like, "Have you read it yet?" And I was like, "So my TBR very long. I have not read Bloodmarked yet."
Okay, I've read half of Bloodmarked, and then the character did something that caused me such immense stress. I put it down, and I haven't picked it up again in 5 months.
That has been me with Oathbringer by Brando Santos. Something has happened. Characters making a decision that I personally disagree with, and I just stopped reading.
No, that's exactly what happened. She makes a decision, and I'm like, I need you to not do that.
I need you to stop, actually. Please.
I need this to be over. And I can't do my TV show hack where I skip it because then I'll be confused.
Oh my god. I'm reading, I'm watching XO Kitty right now, which is, have you seen To All the Boys I Loved Before?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's like,
so I've watched all of XO Kitty, but on TikTok.
Well, fair enough. And I am very heavily doing the Ollie method of skipping through parts that I physically cannot watch. That show has kept me guessing. I was so unprepared for everything that's happened. I'm like, I cannot believe that. Like, there was 2 separate sex dreams that I did not see coming at any point. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Because I've watched the show only in TikTok videos. And it wasn't even like when they got to the point where you could upload them in long form. I was watching like 2-minute TikTok clips and then swiping. And I found one person who just kept posting.
I
them,
love that.
And I said, this is how I'm watching.
I'm locked in. Thank you.
I'm locked in, guys. But yeah.
All right.
I say but. Okay, I've been editing our podcast, guys. There's nothing more humbling than listening to yourself talk and then picking out your own quirks. because I be editing these podcasts and the amount of times I say, but yeah. It's irritating to my soul, specifically me.
Hearing myself talk, I think on the first one that we recorded, I realized how much I say like, and I was like, this is awful. This is terrible. I need to stop. So then the next few, I was making a concerted effort to not say like every 3 seconds. The problem is it's such a good word to use, because I don't use it as a filler word. I use it as it is. It means grammatically. It's just so helpful for that, because I'm almost never directly quoting something. I'm giving a vibe. All of that helps to use like to describe it.
No, you're right. I feel like also another thing we do that I think is so funny is so these are very stream of consciousness. Like, we don't plan out what we're going to say before we start talking.
No.
We don't even really talk about what each of us want to cover. We just kind of sit down in front of the microphone and we go, so we read a book and now we're talking about it.
Let's have a convo.
And so we'll get to points where there's definitely like us trying to like figure out what our next pivot's going to be, or like what the next thing we want to talk about is. And it will be like just us sitting and we'll both go, yeah, just back and forth like 4 times. And I'm like cutting them out. I'm like, yeah, they don't need to hear this.
It's us live planning the podcast in the middle of the podcast.
We had a 30-minute tangent once where we're just talking about absolutely nothing, and I cut it out, and I was like, this was interesting to me and only me, but
this will not be helpful for anybody else.
This will not be making the final cut, unfortunately.
All right. Shall we do the last?
I'm not gonna say
the last one that we have on our.
What's the last
on deck?
Oh, is it Psalm for the Wild Built?
Yes. We've both already read, actually, Psalm for the Wild Built, sorry.
And so this is where I admit that I have not read it yet.
Just kidding. We haven't both read Psalm for the Wild Built. One of us has read Psalm for the Wild Built.
Okay, because I am currently unemployed. Unfortunately for me, because the government took away my job. Not really. Well, yeah. Anyway.
Really.
But so I'm currently unemployed. So I keep doing this thing where I'll get like, if it's like 150 pages, I'm like, oh, I'll crack it out the day before, the day of the podcast before we start recording, because we don't record till later in the night. So I'm like, oh, I'll just crack it out. So that was like my mentality with the Psalm for the Wild Built. And then I was like, actually, I do want to do anticipated summer reads, because I watched a YouTube video and I was like, I'm so interested in this. And then when you agreed to that, I simply said, I don't have to read it yet. So I haven't read it.
Fair enough. It's good. I'm excited to talk about it. I did read it last week, and I read it for the first time over Christmas, so in my mind it's a Christmas book. It's not at all actually about Christmas, but in my mind it is, because of when I read it for the first time.
Yeah. Part of my problem was that it was on my Kindle, and I was using Kindle Unlimited, and then my Kindle Unlimited ended, so I don't have access to it anymore. So it's on library hold.
Okay.
But worst case scenario, I'll just get Kindle Unlimited again.
Okay. Well, we haven't set, and so far we are announcing now that it's going to be at the end of the summer. So you have so much time for it to come off hold.
We do have so much time. We haven't really picked a date when all these episodes will start coming out, though. I think we should start trying for next week or the week after, so that they're not super old by the time we start posting them.
Fair enough.
Our summer reads, but it's October.
Our summer reads, all of them in the month of August.
Yeah. All
right.
So that's what we're doing on the podcast for most. I think that carries through most of the summer. And if it doesn't, then we clearly didn't plan enough books, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
It's not a right now problem.
But now we can talk about what are our anticipated reads for this summer personally. But yes, contrary to popular belief, we don't read the same things all the time.
No, we don't.
Most of the time, we're reading something different from each other.
we have to kind of coordinate when we want to read the same thing.
Yes. All right. We can go back and forth.
Sure.
We'll each say one.
Okay. Sounds good. You want to start?
Currently, I can start. Currently, I'm reading. I just started this yesterday, so I'm counting it as a summer read. The Buffalo Hunter.
Nice.
By Stephen Graham Jones. So that was for my book club with my friends. I started it yesterday. Did we start this book club at the beginning of May? Yes. But that's no one's business. But yeah, I think it's a vampire book. So that's fun.
That does sound fun.
Indigenous vampire book. I'm
very
down.
Cool, very cool.
What's your first read?
I'll start with what I'm currently reading, as well, which is To You at the Altar, which is a different vibe. It's the third book in I think it's called the Tea and Tomes series, by Rebecca Thorne, and it is a cozy fantasy sapphic book. It's definitely getting less cozy fantasy. It's like has some of the vibes still there, but I would say we're starting to depart from cozy fantasy because the stakes of what they're doing are getting higher and higher. But they are still like a cute couple, and it's fun to read. It's one of those quick and dirty reads, but it's cute and I like it.
That's good. I wish I liked cozy books because the idea of them sounds appealing to me, but then I start reading them and I'm like, I don't believe in being calm or cozy.
I basically use them as padding between more stressful books. Because I do like them, but if I read a lot of them at the same time, I'm just not engaged enough. But if I use them between books that are a little more higher stakes, I enjoy it more as kind of like a come down. So I'm like, I just spent the last, I think I read the first one right after I finished Wolf Song by T.J. Klune, which I have lots of opinions about if we ever decide to talk about it. But
that is on my TBR.
Okay.
Not my summer's reads, but it is on my TBR. So we can move it up if I need to.
You don't have to move it, but just let me know. I also read this. My book reading is clustered in whatever vacations I happen to be on, because that's just how it works. So I read a lot of these over Christmas. So that was one of the ones I read over Christmas, and I spent the last probably third of that book straight sobbing. And then
okay. Also, when I said, okay, this is an aside. I don't know if it will stay in the podcast, but at one point I posed the question to Mac of, is it gay to fall in love with a robot that you perceive as a certain gender, if it's your gender, but the robot is amorphous in the fact that it has no gender-specific traits, like physically?
Yes.
And this question came up because I was reading the description of a T.J. Klune book.
Which one?
I have to remember.
Is it Life of Puppets?
Because I was like, it might be. I was just like,
let me go look at TJ Klune's.
I'm looking it up right now too. It's Under the Whispering Door.
It cannot be Under Whispering Door because I have read that book and there's no robots in it.
Oh, The Lives of Puppets.
Okay.
That's it.
That one, I haven't read that one yet. I do own it. It's on my TBR.
Yeah. They wake up a robot in this book, and I was reading it. And I was like, do the robots fall in love? Because is that gay?
Is it gay?
And then I was on a spiral. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay. I know a few people. I know a few.
just a few.
I just know a few gay people, guys.
No worries. I have a friend who's gay.
I'm not homophobic. I have a friend who's gay. It's me. I'm the friend. Yeah. But so TJ Klune is definitely on my list of books to read. He also wrote. Is he the one who wrote, or is it a he or a she?
It's a he.
Or a they.
It's a he as far as I'm aware.
Okay. He wrote The House on the Cerulean Sea. Is that correct?
Yes, he did. I love that book. It's so fucking good.
That's also on my TBR. He's on my TBR, like, definitively. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
It's amazing. Would definitely recommend. That was another one. He's a big tearjerker. Every book I've read from him, I have cried quite a lot.
Is that one gay?
They're all gay.
Okay, I've said gay a lot. I understand that, but it's because my friend recommended it to me, and my friends do this thing where they'll read a piece of media and then they'll be like, Ollie, it's gay, you'll love it. And I'm like, what if I told you that's not like the only thing I need the book to be?
The only criteria.
That's not the only criteria. Actually, it's like pretty low on the list of criteria of book I think I'll enjoy. It's like a plus, but
it's not the only thing I'm looking for.
Unless it's a specifically romance book, it doesn't have to be gay.
Fair enough. But they want you to know. Those are really good. They are very good, and they are pretty much all gay. At least one. I haven't read a TJ Klune book where there isn't at least one romance that is queer. I'll give it that way.
All right. Good to know. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride Month.
We are filming this in June.
Yeah. You probably won't get it in June, but that's when it's being filmed.
Yes. So it's Pride Month for us.
Yes.
My next book is very different from the T book. It's Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. That is my next book that I want to get through this summer.
Nice.
I really like classics. Mm-hmm. My favorite book is Wuthering Heights. And one of my favorite authors is Charles Dickens. So I just feel like it's time I get Jane Eyre under the belt. It was between Jane Eyre or Little Woman. I went with Jane Eyre.
I've read Little Woman. It's fun.
I heard it's good, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I watched the movie, and I became obsessed with it for, like, a hot minute. I watched the most recent adaptation of Little Woman with Saoirse. Yeah. And then that set me on a deep dive, and then I watched every adaptation of Little Women that was out.
Oh, wow. I have only seen the newest adaptation.
But yeah, so we're going to lock in Jane Eyre.
A little classic.
Another Bronte sister.
I am not reading any classics this summer, unless it happens to me.
Yeah. We can do, maybe we'll do an episode, and I'll talk about why I love Charles Dickens so much.
Yeah, that would be a good episode.
I don't know anything about that man. He could be the worst man on earth, but his writing,
it's fun.
Pretty good. And worst man on earth is Luce, because he's not on earth anymore, unfortunately. But, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I understand. All right. Moving on along. Okay, well, I guess I'll do the TJ Klune. I have one on my summer reading list, and it's The Bones Beneath My Skin is my latest TJ Klune book. It seems like a road trip book.
Ooh.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I generally do just quite like TJ Klune, and this will be a sort of common theme. Half of these books I'm borrowing from somebody else, so I am only vaguely picking them. So that is one of them. So I'm excited to read it, but that was kind of one. When I'm given a book, I try to read it when I can. However, I do have like 3 shelves in my house that are dedicated to other people's books that they've given me. So it's not a perfect system.
I think that's the hardest part of moving away from you specifically is that I don't have anyone here who's like a huge reader with enough of an overlapping taste that I can just borrow books and then give books as well to borrow. Yeah. So now I'm like, if I want this, I have to get it myself, and that is not bonita.
This is not great. Yeah, I will. It is
not fun.
It is quite nice because I previously lived with my old college roommate. So when we were living together, obviously we just shared books because it made sense. And now we live in the same city and we have very similar book tastes. So we fairly commonly just jointly buy books. We're like, this is a shared custody book and it'll live at one of our house at some point. But yeah, it works out. It's quite nice.
That's fair.
But me
and my sister, like, we swap sometimes, but we also have very different tastes.
That's fair. So, what's your next one?
What's my next one? Which one do I want to say next? The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, I think is how you say it.
I have no idea, but I do know the book.
It was a gift. I have not read The Gift yet, so I have to read it so that I can then make an opinion on the book. But
nice.
It'll be interesting because I don't think it's a book I would have picked out for myself. Mm-hmm. But I think the premise is interesting, so I'm willing to give it a shot.
I have not read it, but I gifted it to somebody at some point, and from that person, I know that there is a fairly big I guess like a thing that is not readily apparent when you read the back that happens kind of immediately, and that was weird for them. So I'm looking forward to your take about it.
All right. Hopefully it's not anything that will make me go crazy.
Woo!
I was like reading, I think it is you. You've read Turtles All the Way Down. And that is very heavily about someone with OCD. And you were like, you can read it as long as you don't have any of these things. And I was like, I have only those things.
Those things are the whole package.
But now I own it because I was like, they made the movie. And I was like, I really want to watch the movie, but I really want to read the book first. I still haven't read the book because I'm so scared.
It is really good. I read the book in college. He came to my school on one of his book tour stops. Ooh. So I got to hear him talk about it, and Hank Green sang a song while at his book signing, which was fun. But it's very good. Yeah. It is. John Green, I think, just is a very good author, and you really get into his headspace. And he has OCD, so the character is written very accurately. Not that I have OCD, but I had my little touch of when my anxiety went the OCD route for a hot minute. And
that was so fun.
I'm walking on. I'm like, hey, I'm having this thing where I can't walk by this wall. I'm like, certain I'm gonna die. And Ollie's like, hey, have you considered those are some compulsive thoughts? Have you considered?
Those are some obsessive and compulsive thoughts. And then you spoke to someone else and they went, so that's obsessive and compulsive. I can't even say anything. I'm not better. I was talking to my doctor and she goes, how's the OCD? And I went, I don't have that. And she went, yes, you do. I said, oh. And that's how I found out.
Oh, yes, you do.
She said, you sure do. And I went, oh,
okay.
Okay.
Fair. But yeah. I mean, I would read it, but when you're in a good headspace is what I will say. I will say I don't think that the compulsions that the character has are ones that you are particularly aggressive about, so it might be okay.
The compulsions are less concerning to me as the obsessions, because I have far more obsessions than I do compulsions.
Fair enough.
And I haven't talked about a lot of the obsessions I've had with most people because they're crazy. So that's like my biggest thing is like, I'm like, how deep does the compulsions get? And like the paranoia, because you know how I am.
Yeah. The thought process is definitely there. So I would only read it when you're feeling in a good headspace.
So right now, I have to do it right now.
This the best.
There's a cut.
Cut. Podcast
There's a cut,
ends.
and we come back 3 days later, and I'm like, okay, so I've read Turtles all the way down. Yeah. But, so, yeah. I'm going to read The Midnight Library. What are you reading next?
Okay. I think this is actually on both of, in some form, it's actually on both of our reading lists. I have The Dragon Republic, which is the second Poppy War, is on my list. So I read the first Poppy War, I believe last summer. Could have been not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before. I'm excited about it. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while, and so it's one of the ones that I actually want to read. Just haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. You actually did read it not this last Christmas, but the Christmas before. The only reason I know that is because we were in school when you were reading
Okay, that makes sense.
You were bringing it to campus, and I kept being like, I want to read that one day. And then I was stuck reading other things because I couldn't handle anything hard. I was reading, like, The Naturals.
Hey, The Naturals, great stuff.
Great stuff. Thought-provoking? Not particularly. No. But, yeah, The Poppy War is on my summer reads. That's actually the next book I was going to say, too. So we're both reading the Poppy War series coming up.
Hey. Yeah.
I've read one R.F. Kuang book. I read Yellowface, and I really liked it. I hated the main character, but I think that was the point.
I do think that's supposed to be the point.
That means it was good.
It did its job.
Like, I loved Yellowface. I hated the main character so much. It was such a good book.
Yeah. I have read, obviously, the first Poppy War book. I've also read Babel, which I know is on your list. Not for the summer, but at some point.
Yes. No, it is actually on my summer list.
Just kidding.
It's I'm going on an R.F. Kuang circuit this summer.
Let's go. I thought Babel was so good. Very, very much enjoyed.
I'm so excited for it. It might be coming up fairly soon.
Hey.
I think after the Buffalo Hunter I have to lock in for the rest of the Legendborn series just to make sure I'm ready for the podcast episode. Mm-hmm. But then after that, I think I'll go for Babel.
Nice.
Or Hungerstone.
Nice.
Which is another book on my list.
Hey.
Yes. But Hungerstone is a Carmilla retelling, and I just read Carmilla, like... 1 second. My chair is broken. I just read Carmilla, like, 2 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
So, it'll be interesting to see how Hungerstone compares.
Nice. I have not read either. So, nice. Exciting stuff. I'm also reading, I'm very excited about this one. This is another book I'm borrowing, but it's been on my list for a while. It's Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Very excited about reading that. I watched, he collaborated with a fairly well-known science YouTuber to talk about, so like the basis of the book that I understand is that it's on a planet with a sea of spores. And the premise is basically when you aerate like small particles, a big like dish of small particles, they actually act like a liquid. So Brandon Sanderson went onto the science YouTuber's like YouTube, and they did a video together where they aerated sand so you could see what the sea would look like, and that hooked me. And I was like, oh, I'm locked in. I want to read Tress.
Wait, that's so fun, actually.
Isn't that cool? I was like, that's so fun.
Yeah.
So very, very pumped about reading that one. And I am excited to read one of his shorter books. I've only ever read his kind of honky books, and Tress is much shorter. So excited about that.
I think it's so funny because Brandon Sanderson was like, we were in a bookstore one day, and I was like, I keep seeing Brandon Sanderson. And you were like, me too. And I was like, we should just pick up a book each. And we each picked up a book. And then you promptly read your book. And I'm still not done mine. This was years ago. And it's not that it's bad. I just, like, I have to take my time.
Yeah. They're not rushing books, I will say. Especially the one that you have. The second, I was reading it really slowly, and then I got COVID and could do nothing but lay in bed, basically. And I ended up reading it while I was laying in bed with nothing to do. Which, let me tell you, especially the second half, when it was emotionally distressing, I, like, couldn't breathe because I had COVID. And then also couldn't breathe because I was sobbing so hard. It was not a great combination.
Yeah. Me and Mac we like to do this thing where we each got COVID staggered.
Yeah.
Where I would get it and then immediately after Mac would get it, but we wouldn't get it from each other.
Because
we would get it from completely separate incidences because we were actually trying our best to be careful.
Yeah. We were both, like, quite safe. I think, yeah. And it was always so random. I think it was a little bit that we tended to stagger travel. And we both would get, like, sick after travel somehow. Which...
I still get a little sick every time I take a plane.
Yeah.
So I just think my immune system sucks. And it wasn't helping when that was happening.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking about it because I was like, I literally had it, I think, like, a week and a half before you, maybe 2 weeks. No, I had it like 2 weeks before you. And then that's when I read all the naturals books. And I came out and I read it. I was like, I read these bangers. Here you go.
Good. And then I was so sick and I was like, time to read all these bangers.
You came out and you're like, I've read these bangers. And I'm like, great to know.
Yeah.
There's a couple book series where, like, one of us was like, I've read this, and then the other one immediately just like, all right, it's time to go.
My personal favorite was the evolution of reading All for the Game between the two of us, which was I read it, you read it, and then I read it again because I was so excited that you were reading it. I was like, locked in, let's go.
Those were, like, crazy because we got, like, we bought our Kindles, like, I started the first book. You gave me the first book to borrow. And then we were in lab and we were, like, talking, and I was like, I really want a Kindle. And I was, like, looking at the Kindles, and we caught a Kindle deal where it was, like, buy one, get one, like, 50% off or something like that. So we both were like, well, we'll both go in, and then we'll just split the cost in half. So it's like we both paid a little less for a Kindle. And then we got the Kindles, and the first thing I downloaded was all 3 books for 99 cents.
Worth. So worth.
Also, recently found the 4th book in my library. Like, I can read it on my iPad from my library.
I love that. Hell yeah. Let's go. But yeah, so...
Anyway, there was tangent. Yeah. How many books are you aiming to read this summer?
Okay, well, let's I have 9 books next to me. I'm going to be honest here that I've been reading, like, probably 2 non-podcast related books a month. So, we won't hit all of those, I would say. Though, okay, I am going on vacation in July, and the goal of the vacation is we're going to, like, a cabin with my in-law's house with my in-law family, which is my friend's in-laws. And the plan is to basically hang out and read outside in the woods. Very excited about that plan. So I'm hoping to, like, hit a few while I'm there. So we'll see if I can get them. How about you?
Yeah, I have 11 books as of right now that will have to be read over the summer, which I think is doable. I'm gonna do this thing. It's called the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, by QWERTY or QWERTY. I don't know how to say that on YouTube.
Oh,
It's literally QWORDY. Quarty. And they're like about to start their second year, but I caught it before I realized they were going to do a second year. So I'm doing the first year revised a little bit to be kind of in line with the second year, but also I have free will, so I'm doing what I want to do based on that.
Yep, as you should.
So I have a lot to get through, so that should help. One of the challenges is that you have to pull an all-nighter, a 24-hour readathon and you have to read at least 3 books during the 24 hours.
Oh, okay, that's where the 3 books came from. We were having this discussion, not on the podcast.
Well, no. 3 books came from my ego.
Oh, okay.
Of being like, I definitely could hit 3 books. And then I found the challenge, and I was like, yeah, 3 books.
3 books, easy.
But I have the benefit of insomnia, so I would be able to just like I think I would be able to plow through in a way most people would not be able to, because they would start slowing down as they got tired, and I simply wouldn't get tired.
I'm simply built different.
I'm not built different. I'm built crazy.
My biggest hope that wasn't a sentence. Give me a second. My biggest hope is that I will read more books this summer, because I'm trying to be more intentional about my social media usage. As in, I'm trying to purposely replace scrolling on my phone with reading. So I take the train to work, and I am trying to not use TikTok while I'm on the train, and to just read while I'm there instead, because I don't have to drive, so might as well replace that with something that is helpful. So that's my goal. So I'm hoping that will increase my reading numbers, because it will be more than just like randomly reading before bed or at my husband's soccer games and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I feel like I read a lot more in the summer, because it's just a vibe to go outside and read a book.
Also very true. I love my the development I live in has a pool, and it's been great. I've been like going out, and I'll just occasionally I bought like bone conducting headphones that you can wear in the pool. So I'm actually also listening to Red Rising right now while I'm swimming laps. So I download like 45 minutes of the audiobook at a time onto these headphones, and then I do my laps while listening to Red Rising.
I'm jealous. I want to read Red Rising so bad, but I know I can't listen to it, and I can't read it on my Kindle, so I have to just wait till I have money to buy it.
That's fair. I found this guy. It is definitely not the official audiobook. It's just this guy. It's a Scottish? No, it's Irish. I think it's an Irish guy on YouTube who's just reading the books. So that's been fun. I have re-listened to parts of it, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on, because I'm also actively working out while this is happening in a pool, so it's not super connected.
Fair enough.
To listening to everything. So I've re-listened to a few parts to try to, so it'll be slow going, but enjoyable.
You know what? I'm about to start listening to the audiobook of Twilight. I just felt the intense urge to just like re-listen to Twilight, and I think it's because you said there was a YouTube video, and I think if I'm remembering correctly, there was like someone who like read all the Twilight books out loud on YouTube when I was like younger, and I remember watching all the videos.
You know who I listened to all of the Twilight audiobooks with?
Who?
My parents.
That's insane. You know, you could have said to so many people, and I would have been like, yeah, okay. But your parents was not what I was expecting.
My parents, I think because I read so fast, they like physically could not read everything I was reading, but they wanted to be like involved in my life. And reading was an aggressive part of my life. So we were really into audiobooks as a family. So we would get the CD packs. And it was mostly that I would pick the CD, whatever book that I decided our family was going to be listening to. And so my parents have actually, like, a lot of the books I read in high school or like early in middle school, my parents have read them all or listened to them all. So like all of Twilight, a good amount of all of Percy Jackson, a good amount of Heroes of Olympus. We did some of Game of Thrones. We did a good amount of I think we did all of Chronicles of Narnia. We did the Divergent series. Wow. We did Hunger Games. Yeah.
You know, I feel bad for your parents on some of this. Not gonna lie. I can't imagine being a grown adult driving with my child in the back and we're listening to Triss be like, I'm not like other girls. I am dauntless. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? trying to go to soccer practice with your child, and then it's just like, 4 only has 4 fears. Some are good, like the Hunger Games. That's a banger, right? Like I think everyone could have liked that, but Divergent really leaned into the teen girl aesthetic. Just, yep. I can't imagine being like driving with my child, and they're the book is just I left my parents behind in abnegation because I just don't get not being.
Yep.
Anyway. But Twilight even more, because there's like, did you listen to all the Twilight books with your parents? Like all 4 of them?
I'm trying to remember if we listened to and I'm fairly confident we did. I'm not sure but with both my parents I listened to Breaking Dawn. I at least listened to Breaking Dawn with my mother. Which
that's
I have
insane.
I have no recollection of listening to the sex scene with her. Maybe she does. But Mom, if you're listening, let me know. But
imagine just being it's so like, it's like not graphic, but it's so weird and like it's in the way that it is explained that I can't imagine just being like, because my mom was also like she wanted to monitor what I was reading because I was reading fast.
Yeah.
And Twilight came out and she had heard some things and was like, well, I need to read them first. So like my mom read all the Twilight books before I read all the Twilight books. So I know my mom's read Twilight, and I also know that my mom like consumed that content. But I can't imagine being sat next to my mom consuming said content. Like my mom literally was like, she came upstairs and was like, so I've read Breaking Dawn, and I was like, yes. And this was the one we all knew was going to be dicey, right? Like,
yeah.
My mom was like, this one I definitely have to read before you do. And so she's like, so I read Breaking Dawn. I said, okay, Mom. She said, we need to talk about a few things, and then you can read it. And I was like, okay. So then we had a little talk, and then she was like, all right, you can go read it. That was the end of it.
That's so funny.
Not...
My parents also had this feeling about Twilight, because I think we both read books that were probably like beyond a little bit what our age range was supposed to be. My mom read the first one, but she read a lot slower than I did, obviously, because she was also, working full time and was not like, ridiculous. So she's reading at a normal pace. And I'm like, obviously that's too slow. So she read the first one and I went, I'm going to take that as a blanket. You can read the whole series. I knew that was not true. Did it anyway. I did get caught reading Eclipse without permission, and she would kind of gave me a look, and I don't remember anything actually coming of that, which I did definitely finish reading the series. I might have just finished reading it while at school to specifically avoid bringing the book home. But yeah, couldn't stop it apparently.
Yeah, but yeah, so I don't even know where we started to get to here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Red Rising.
Yeah, Red.
I'm going backward now. You were saying that you were listening to Red Rising.
Yes, I am listening to Red Rising.
We also, yeah. We were talking about how many books we wanted to read.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And but yeah. One of my very excited to read books that I'm super excited to read is called A Dark and Drowning Tide by Allison Saft. I am looking forward to that book so heavily, and I don't know why I don't just like prioritize books that I'm really looking forward to. I think it's a fear of like finishing them and then not having them there anymore.
Like, I just want this in case it's for the future.
But I'm really excited about that one. So that one will be getting read this summer. I like to read a lot of like thrillers and like dark gothic literature in the summer.
Interesting.
Contrary to the weather.
Yeah. You know.
So.
Fair enough. What I read is irrelevant of what the season is. I read the same thing. I'll read maybe slightly more dark academia in the fall, but only maybe slightly. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, no, I don't have a big seasonal divide either. Yeah. I just read what I want to read when I want to read it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mood reader to the max.
Exactly. I don't have time to... I don't have enough reading time to be, like, too aggressive with myself about reading specific books. I, like, have to... The whole point is to enjoy it, so I will just read what I feel like reading.
What else do you got?
Let's see. I'm reading... I'm planning to read A Tempest of Tea, which is by Huzfa Faisal. And it is about a tea room that it's another vampire book. So in the day it is a tea room, and in the night it is an illegal blood house. Dun, 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 dun. So, and I'm excited. I was so confused. So one of the books that this author has also read is wrote is We Hunt the Flame. And I don't know why, but I was so sure that was So Let Them Burn. I was like, it was crazy. I didn't even know it's the same author. And it's not the same author. It's just a fully different book. And I was just so convinced of that when I was like picking it up and like putting it in my pile to talk about today. I was like, wow, what a coinkydink. And it's not. It's just a different author.
No coincidence. You know what? Speaking of, I was gathering books for today. And speaking of coincidences, I have a friend here in where I live from high school. And I was visiting her, and she's like, oh, I have 2 copies of this book, and I think you'd really like it, so I want you to take one of them home. Mm-hmm. And I said, sure. So I took one home. But, so, throw back to actual high school. Mm-hmm. I had a band teacher, and she had a friend who worked in a library and got an advanced reader copy of a book.
Okay.
And my teacher was like, you read a lot and I don't want this. Do you want this advanced reader copy? And I was like, sure, I don't know anything about this book, but I'm just going to take the advanced reader copy. And I read half of it, loved it, lost track of it. It got like lost in my house. And we were recently reorganizing all our books, and I found the advanced reader copy. Oh. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I start reading the title of the advanced reader copy, and it is the book my friend literally gave me like 3 weeks ago.
That's wild.
And I was like, that's insane.
That's such a coincidence.
And I was like, now I have to keep the advanced reader copy because I need to compare.
Yeah, you got to see what changed.
Exactly. Like, what didn't make it into the final edit. But that was, so random little thing that happened to me today. Random little coincidences in our lives. I know yours wasn't a real coincidence, but mine's have been real coincidences. Not to flex,
but you have the real coincidence.
We talked about this in our tropes episode. Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell is also on my list to be. I really want to read this one. I am partially want to read it because I am writing a novel right now, and it has a lot of political components to it, and I heard that the politics in this book are very interesting, so I'm interested to see what it's like.
I very much enjoyed that book, so I'm excited for you to read it.
I got it at the thrift store for $4 in hardcover.
Ooh. Nice.
I don't even like hardcover, but it still was $4, and that's important.
That's the important part. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna rapid do the next few that I have on this list. I have We All Fall Down by Rose Sabao. It was also a thrift store find. It's just a really you guys can't see it, but I'm showing Allie. It's just a really pretty cover.
It's so pretty.
I've never heard of it,
like that one.
but I'm so excited to read it. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a dark fantasy, and I believe it's queer, so that's fun. I
make sure to tell me about it when you finish it.
I will.
Say I read a gay book.
I'll give it to you next time I see you. Eventually.
Well, I think I'm just gonna start mailing you books I want you to read back.
We can do that too. That works. I'm gonna read.
Like, I'll send you back your books that I borrowed, and it will just be an extra book that's like, I need you to read this.
Congrats, you must read this. Hey, that works. I'm gonna read The Mountain in the Sea, and it is about it seems like it's sort of like a dystopia sci-fi book, and yeah, I'm excited about it. It's something about octopuses, so we'll see how that. I did not pick that one was just given to me, but it sounds fun.
Fair enough.
And then What You Are Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Oyama. And I think this is another cozy book about a librarian. So we'll see.
Nice.
So yeah, those are rapid the rest of the random books I have on this list.
I only have 2 more on my list, and it's James by Percival Everett, which just won the Pulitzer this year.
Nice.
So very excited to read that one. It's a retelling of Huckleberry Finn, but from Jim, who is the slave that he's traveling with, from his perspective. So I'm very interested to see how they go about that, because I feel like Huckleberry Finn was such a the whole point of it was to be a little bit of a funny book, and then it had a message, but the message at the end was they get to their destination and Huckleberry Finn is racism and slavery might be bad, guys.
Might not be good.
Might be bad. that was moral at the end. So I'm interested to read that one. And then the other one I have is The Odyssey.
Ooh.
Homer.
You did, because you just got that one. You had a really pretty version of it, right?
Yeah, with you when we went to that store.
So exciting. I know.
So
I've been meaning. I really want to read so I've read The Odyssey, but I really want to read the Iliad. I just haven't gotten around to it. So maybe if you do the Odyssey, maybe I'll read the Iliad and we'll hit all the epic poetry.
Yes, let's do it. I'm excited for the Odyssey. I might annotate my copy because it's really pretty, and I'm never gonna get rid of it. So I feel like it's a good book to annotate, because then not only is it pretty, but then you open it and you can get my thoughts.
Yeah, that's always fun.
And in 2025, we're romanticizing life. So
time to annotate a book.
Exactly.
I agree.
I'm not really a great annotator. I'd be like, I'm going to annotate this book, and then I start reading it, and then I'm so deep in it, then 100 pages later, I'm like, I haven't wrote a single thing down. Not a single one of my thoughts is in this book.
My annotations are underlining things and saying, what? Or, oh my God.
One of I was reading a Brandon Sanderson book, and I think one of the first chapters, so this is not really a spoiler, and it's also out of context, you wouldn't know what they're talking about, but the first line was why don't you cry? And I underlined it and I went, same. Same.
That's just how it is, you know?
I have been annotating my Brandon Sanderson book, but mainly just underlining things, because he does write fantasy pretty well. He does, yeah. So the interesting thing about starting to write your own book is that you then start reading books in a very different light, because you're you're taking a different part from it than you would if you were just reading it for pleasure.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we got hefty reading lists for the summer.
Yeah. We'll report back if we passed our summer.
We should set a date.
Okay.
Like August 31st.
Okay.
We're calling the end of summer. That's what we'll call the end of summer.
Okay.
I don't know when the actual end of summer is. When does the actual end of summer?
I think it's September something.
I can stop living by a academic schedule.
It's
so
late.
August doesn't have to be the end of the summer.
It's late September. Can we have a real date? It's September 22nd.
I don't even think we're technically in summer
No,
yet.
we are. It started 3 days ago, apparently.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So actually, we're so on time, guys. No worries.
We're so on time. You will not hear this so on time. So you said September 22nd?
Yeah.
Okay, September 22nd.
Well,
Whatever week that falls into will be an episode where we update you on how much we actually completed from these summer reading lists.
Okay, that sounds good. That'll
And if we've deemed any book not like super, we're gonna do an episode on this. We'll just rapid fire talk about them in that episode.
Okay, that sounds good. A solid plan.
Yeah,
We'll report back.
to hold us accountable. We'll tell you what we read, and if it's one book,
no judging.
Mind your
business.
business.
That's not on you.
It's not about you. All right, so yeah, we'll check in. And how many months is that?
It's like 3 months.
4 months.
Is it?
No, it's 3. I can't count. But yeah, so we'll be back in 3 months.
Yeah.
To follow up on this video.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope you enjoyed this video. We'll be back next week talking about Murder Box 1 through 4, the short novellas. Yeah, so stay fun, flirt with your friends, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of The Crisis of Readers. If you are enjoying our